The Screaming Man Show, Town of Weston's own version of a zoning board of appeals.
If you do not be quiet, I will have you removed. If you do not be quiet, I will have you removed. If you do not be quiet, I will have you removed.
September 22nd, 2025, 7 p.m. There is never an agenda made available to the public. There are never public records as made available for the board to review at these meetings, made available to the public to review previous to or at these meetings. We have been asking for that for almost 3 years now. There is no response from the town board on this request. The town board members refusing to talk to or serve the public from January 2024 through December 2025 are Anna Riddell Weaver, current town supervisor. Town council, 1 of 5 members, in position until December 2025. Lawrence Merrick, current town council, 2 of 5 members, not seeking re-election. In position until December 2025, David Schallenberg, II. Current Town Council, 3 of 5 members. In position until December 2027, Len Charney. Current Town Council, 4 of 5 members. Not seeking re-election. In position until December 2025, Peter Donahue Sr. Current Town Council, 5 of 5 members. In position until December 2027. Here, a member of the zoning board lets the chairman know that she has not been receiving the minutes of the meeting, and whether or not the secretary has her correct email address. The chairman, Carl DeFranco of the zoning board, states that the secretary does have, or should have, preliminary minutes that she provides via email. This communication by the chairman proves that the town board, the planning board, and the zoning boards all know about preliminary minutes and their requirement to be made available to the public, not in 30, 60, or 90 days, but within 2 weeks at the most. It appears some of the board are receiving these preliminary minutes from the board secretary, most notably the chairman of the zoning board, as he asks if he is the only one getting the preliminary minutes. The zoning board member requests an emailed copy of those minutes. This is a quandary for the town. The zoning board chairman receives timely minutes, as he clearly states here. Those should be delivered within a maximum of 10 days to the town clerk for the availability to the public on the town's towpath website, whether they are approved or preliminary, finished or not. The open meetings laws state clearly and without confusion that all meeting minutes from any town, planning, zoning, or other meeting of any committee or board, appointed or elected, are to be placed online within 2 weeks of the meeting they are taken from. And clearly, and without confusion, this town board, this zoning board appointed by the town board, and the zoning board secretary is appointed as well by the town board, know the requirement that these meeting minutes are to be posted to the town's website within 2 weeks of the meeting. Per the oaths of office these folks sign, when accepting these elected or appointed offices, they agree to follow the laws and the Constitution of both New York State and of the United States in support of those they serve in this position, that being the taxpayer in the community of Weston. However, to these folks serving on this board or other boards or committees in the town, these outlaws of uncommon injustice to the public they do not serve, the laws, oaths, and the taxpayers themselves mean little or nothing. This is misrepresentation toward the tax-paying public in Weston at the highest levels of incompetence for the rights of the people under New York State open meetings law, by both the town board appointing these folks and who are responsible as elected servants of the people for all of those actions by anyone they appoint to any position in the town. How can any one of these zoning board members sitting at those tables in front of the public simply act as if nothing at all is wrong with their ability to receive these minutes in a timely fashion, and yet the public has been starved for years of the very same information the board has timely access to in order to review and vote on these minutes at these meetings? The actions as seen here and live streamed seem to be a concerted effort by the town board to limit the availability of controversial information and public records for many of the activities of all of the boards in the town of Weston. The planning board has the same history. All the while, the public cries foul and has been crying foul for almost 3 years now.
All right, it is 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. I'll stand with usual respect and pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
We have 2 sets of minutes, one from the April and
Okay.
one from the July. So I'll send that out.
Okay, for the benefit of all of the myriad of attendees here,
Wow.
just introduce the panel here. This is Bill Gamila, Diane Lux, I'm Carl DeFranco, I'm the board chair. This is April, she's the secretary. Tyler Swiss is our new member, just appointed by the board. He is filling Ginny Merrick's slot. And we have Vern Berry down at the end.
So basically, I was unable to attend the July meeting. And the previous meeting minutes were from April. We had canceled the June meeting, I think, because we had a power outage. And then we had no business.
Well, then we had no business, so.
Yeah. picked you up on the way.
Oh, yeah. Okay, with regard to the April minutes, does anybody have any comments or changes?
For the April one,
Yes.
yeah, my name spelling,
Oops,
down in old business is wrong.
under the votes, Diane Lux, as opposed to L-U-Z.
It's DIANELUX.
Any other changes or corrections? Motion to approve? Diane, do I have a second?
I second it.
Vern does the second. All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye. Yeah, those minutes are approved. For July. We did have a quorum, we had 2 public hearings.
Mickey's not coming today?
Who's that?
Rick Wilbur,
Thank you.
Any?
And Ryan's not here.
I'd like to make a note under each of the two area variances. When you express a vote, if all members said aye, it should indicate unanimous approval.
Okay, okay.
Any other corrections or changes for July? Motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second? Second by Bill. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. I expected to have some business tonight. I know that there was preliminary information submitted to the planning board last week regarding the Fernie property, which the old Warcup farm. He's been in the process of redoing the barn, and he has been asking for a special use permit to convert it over to a basically a party facility so we can hold receptions and stuff in the barn. I expected to see either Mr. Fernie or his engineer, Tim Hogan, tonight. They were going to bring us copies of all of the required documents. I do not see them here, so we're not going to be able to take any action on that. When they do submit it, what we're going to end up doing is to, we basically make a motion to table any action on it. We refer it to the planning board. They will conduct the environmental quality review, as we're required to do for that. They will also probably do a site approval, and then it will bring it back to this board. We will review all the conditions that apply to the special use permit for that, and then we will take a vote on whether or not to grant the special use permit. So without them here and without any other information on it, I don't think there's a whole lot we are going to be able to do with that. The last month we moved to table and forward the application from Sole Source Power from Mullen Hill. The planning board has begun the secret process on that. They've identified the involved agencies, and their letter is going to be sent out asking each one of them to comment on the information. All of the information that is submitted by Sole Source, I took all of their PDF forms. I put them on their website. If you want to review them, they're under planning board, and then look for Mullen Hill Solar or Mullen Hill Power. Some of those documents are pretty big, so they may be in zip form. You may have to unzip them if you want to read the things. I know the Speedy's permit is about yay thick that they have to handle to take care of all of the any of the water flow or anything else that's going on in it. Beyond that, definitely like to welcome Tyler Now, he will be filling the remainder of Jenny Merrick's term of office. I don't know how many, did they tell you how many years that is?
I think it's till 29, I believe.
Well, the whole term is no more than 7, and Jenny had already finished a couple of years, so you probably have another 3 or 4.
Okay, yeah.
I'll check and see when her term of office was supposed to expire, but you'll hold it until then.
Yep.
And then you can just get reappointed. Tyler did bring up one thing that's for note for everybody. I will try to dig up an email. The Tug Hill Commission sends out a newsletter, and in that newsletter they announced a couple of training sessions for land use. You can do it in person. I believe they're also going to Zoom it. So if anybody wants to do that, I will try to remember when I get home tonight. I will forward that information so that if you want to, instead of driving up to Lowville and doing it dark, although apparently they're going to give you food and drink while you're there.
Yeah.
I always show up for free food.
And I think it runs for about 2 or 3 hours. That will give you credit for some of the training that everybody's required to have. The law requires that we're supposed to have 4 hours of training every year. We can do that in all sorts of different methods. Most of us go over to the day-long training that Tug Hill offers. Last couple of years have been over at the Turning Stone. You'll get a minimum of 4 hours of training out of that. It just answers everything all in one day. And the town will reimburse you for the cost of that as well if you want to do that instead. Anybody else have any business they want to bring up? Vern, I still owe you a letter to the town board offering your assistance for the helicopter pad. I didn't get to that.
I guess I would just have questions on, like checking out that Mullen, to catch me up to speed on all the current things going on right now.
Okay, right now, last month we formally received an application for a special use permit for a solar installation up on Mullen Hill. If you know where Kyle Weissmuller's house is, it's way back in the field behind there. The original one was going to put in 2 5-megawatt installations. They got enough blowback from local property owners that they've agreed to cut it back to a single 5-megawatt, and it's going to be in the far field in the back. So the planning board takes that up. They have to go through the state environmental quality review.
Yep.
In fact, we do that for anything that comes in front of us. Normally, if it's an area variance or something like that, it falls under what they call type 2, which basically stops right there. But if it's either listed as a type 1 or an unlisted one, they have to go through the review process.
Okay.
The planning board will go through that. If they find any potential impacts, they can ask the company, how are you going to mitigate these? If the impacts are considered significant or major, they can ask them for an environmental impact statement that will tell how they're going to mitigate it. Once they're done with that, they will complete the secret. It comes back to us, and then and only then can we actually formally act on it. We're not allowed to even vote on it until that's done.
Gotcha.
Now, the other thing that happens with almost every one of these applications, under most circumstances, we have to submit what's called a 239M, and it basically we go to the county planning board or planning authority. They will review it and come back with comments. If they have comments, we have to reconcile those comments before we can vote on it. So right now, Mullen Hill is in the preliminary stages. I don't think they've even, if you go back there now, you're just walking through corn stalks. There's nothing much back there.
Yeah.
Both the planning board and the zoning board, we can ask the proposers that we'd like to take an on-site visit. So we go back and walk through the thing, but right now you'd just be sitting there with corn about yay high above your head. But that's the general procedure.
I can give him the documents that I received for that whole thing.
Okay, yeah, if you've got copies of those, but all of those, everything should be on the website now. So
yeah, that's why I'll check that.
The full-up application is there, so you can do that.
Okay.
If you want, now everybody else has been through it, but if you want, I can take a few minutes. I can walk you through the whole process. There's a poster board that I made in there to kind of illustrate to all of the people who want to know how the whole process works. I can walk you through that as to how we work on that. Fundamentally, what we do here is our primary responsibility is to receive appeals from codes officers' decisions. Yep. And we will hear the appeal from whoever the property owner is, And we will determine whether or not to grant them an area variance or a use variance. Okay, use variance is very hard to get if you look at the criteria for that. It should be almost impossible. The only other responsibility we have defined in the law is interpreting the zoning the ordinance. So if there's a question as to how the ordinance should be, or the law should be interpreted, that falls to us. We discuss it, we come up with a formal determination, and that's how that law is enforced from then on.
Okay.
The only other thing we have under our law is we rule on special use permits. Normally, the planning board will do something like that, but that falls to us.
Okay.
So we give them to the planning boards, do the review, they come back to us, and then we'll do the review and go on. We'll hold a public hearing before we make any decisions. So it's a pretty straightforward process.
Yeah. Just want to make sure, because I knew the solar thing was going on, so it's like, is there anything
Yep.
else like that too, or, well, now I know the Fernie thing's happening, so.
Yeah, and I haven't really heard much on either one of the two things so far, but.
Okay.
But,
Well, there's 2 solar projects.
well, the existing one has already been approved. That's over on Sly Hill.
Yeah.
I saw vague signs that they might actually be starting something over there.
Okay.
I noticed a couple of pieces of machinery that look like they might actually start laying it out and putting the stuff in.
I'll give you that stuff.
But beyond that,
These are like this.
we don't have a lot. And
Yeah.
almost just about every document that we receive or that we create, I will either scan in or, take an electronic copy, and I will post it either under the planning board and the zoning board, depending on who's working on it.
Okay.
So right now, all the solar stuff, you'll find it on the planning board because it's their responsibility.
Gotcha.
Anything to do with variances and stuff, anything that I receive that I can scan in and put online, I generally try to do that before we have the meeting so everybody has a chance to look at it.
Okay.
And we normally will have the requester or the appellant come in and, present their case for what it is they want, so they get a chance to have a hearing on it. Anybody else have any, April?
I've confirmed that Virginia's term was through the end of 29.
Okay. So you're here for another 4 years?
Yeah.
21, 29.
Okay, if anybody have any new business they want to bring up? Okay, if not, this will be short. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thanks.
I think that's a record. Okay. Diane, I don't normally send them out. I'll send it to him because he's the only one that has responded, but if you'd like me to add you.
Well, just in case you.
Yeah, the preliminary, you can send them out to everybody if you want. That's fine. All right.
I was not feeling love, so I cut them all off.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Short and sweet tonight.
Nice to meet you.
I'll take it.
Nice to meet you.
I'll run those over to,
How you doing? Good to see you.
Are you home tomorrow?
Probably not.
I'll put it
I got a big wedding this weekend, so I'm gonna be.
I'll put it on your
You got a couple
board.
minutes?
Yeah, for
I'll
sure.
just walk you through that, just so you can see what the process. I think this is online too. I thought I published it.
Okay, yeah,
That's
that's
why I
fine.
would ask for it.
Yes, there's a paper copy of it too.
Yeah, but at any rate, the owner submits the package to the codes officer.
Yep.
He decides whether he gets a regular permit, special use.
That's
Or,
like Scott Bush, right?
yeah, Scott Bush is the codes officer. Now, in theory, they can submit it directly to us. So they can go come in, we need a special use permit. So we will receive it, we'll make sure the package is complete. We'll try to determine what secret type it is. If it's a type 2, we don't do secret, we just go act on it. Type 2, we can ask the planning board for comments.
Decided whether you need help.
If it's a type 1 or
You
unlisted,
decide whether you need
that
help
goes to
getting
the planning
in.
board, they
Because
become
we're all
lead
willing to
agencies
help
to
you.
do the whole thing. And they'll go through this whole cycle, they'll ask for information if they need it. Once it's done, they write a resolution that said, okay, we found it had major impacts or no impact or whatever. comes back to us.
So here we are again in
Dawn,
the
can I
town
give you a
of Western,
suggestion?
and we're going to be harassed right now by somebody. We don't want to talk to this person. Please, do
No,
not
I'd like
bother
to give
me.
a suggestion
Yeah.
to you, Don.
Yeah, I don't need to hear
Working
you.
with the town, like if you see that there's not a
That won't happen until the town works with me. I've already opted to work with the town, and that ain't happening, so I'm done talking with you. Please don't harass me. Please don't harass me. I'm trying to do a report here. Please don't harass me. Please, go away. Carol, can you call 911, please?
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
They write a resolution that says, okay, we found that nature impacts or no impact or whatever. Comes back to us.
So here we are. Look, I'm going to move. If you follow me, I am calling the police, okay?
Well, okay, let's go.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Continual harassment with these folks on this board. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? And did you see that? Okay, this is the kind of harassment that we deal with here on an ongoing basis by these folks in the town of Western. That's not
Asked
acceptable.
me if I needed help to get out of my relationship.
She said that tonight?
Yes.
We have that recorded. Again, this secretary just approached Carol and asked her if she needed help getting out of her relationship. Now, what kind of a question is that for a secretary of a town board to ask somebody that's attending this meeting? That is called harassment. This person needs to be reprimanded by this town. This is unfair, it's unjust, it's not right, and it shows the indignity that this town is placing towards the people, the public that they are to serve in a town like this. This is incredible to see this happen in a town like this, in any town in America, in fact. So let's get back on track after that harassment by that secretary of the planning or zoning and both of those boards. So we have a town board here tonight, the zoning board, who has opted not to give the minutes for this meeting to the public, which are due to the public within 14 days, 2 weeks. New York State open meetings law requires a 2-week period of time. Get my pack, please. Make sure there's nothing else in there. Maximum of 2 weeks to place those minutes online. They do not have to be approved by this board. They don't have to be accepted, voted, a motion made to approve those minutes. No. Within 2 weeks, a draft of those minutes are supposed to be placed online for the public to see, to have, to touch, and to feel. And this planning board, this zoning board, does not follow the open meetings law, which they are required to do under their oath of office in the town of Western or in any town USA. Now that failure, did you find it?
We need to talk to him about it. I have a packet.
So in the town of Western, planning and zoning boards are required within 2 weeks to have that posted. The last meeting minutes that are posted are April. Now, there are 2 meetings in here that they canceled, but that still puts them at least 30 to 60 days over for 4 months worth of meeting minutes that aren't on the zoning board's website online for the people to have access to. In fact, I've gone to the town clerk, who is the FOIL records access officer for the town of Western, and asked for those meeting minutes, to which she replied, "I'm sorry, I can only give you what I have. I don't have those minutes." So if the zoning board and the planning board aren't giving those meetings to the secretary to post for the people and or for the people to gain those records from the secretary of the zoning and planning boards, then that secretary of the zoning and planning board is defunct in their responsibilities, their duties, and under the oath of office that they take when they are appointed or elected to any position in the town of Western. It's a crying shame that the people, the public taxpayers, who are ultimately accountable and responsible for everything that happens in this town, have to beg and cry and ask for meeting minutes that should be posted online within 14 days, period, based on New York State law, open meetings law, that these folks sign an oath that they will support 100% when they take office. That's not happening in this town, and that is a crying shame. Okay, so we're all set here. We're done with this meeting. Good luck getting any of those minutes unless they happen to see this video online and find out that Oneida County as well, about 7 other towns are seeing this meeting go down, and the kind of harassment that we're getting from this secretary, asking personal questions about relationships in a planning board or zoning board meeting. Just incredible to see. I hope you folks saw it. If you don't, we'll post the audio that we have recorded online. I believe the camera probably picked up plenty of that, but we're going to take off. Thanks so much for joining us here, Town of Western Civic Affairs. Your community, your town, your voice. Have a good night.
Brought to you by TWCA Productions and by Town of Western Civic Affairs. Your community, your future.
On this board. On this.